I want to welcome you to Washington, D.C. We're here at the International Summit for Religious Freedom. You've been very busy speaking about religious freedom, about pro-life, and your position that. But I want to start with big news in the United States yesterday. We found 51 migrants in a trailer that came from Texas dead. 7 were from your country of Guatemala. Texas's Governor Greg Abbott blamed their deaths on President Biden and his policies. Do you agree with that?
Bueno, yo creo que
There are lots of things that worry us, and one of those has to do with people that died in San Antonio. The death of one single person is regrettable. It's a terrible act. Imagine people being cramped in a tractor trailer in the heat of 40 degrees and over. Migration has two avenues. One is the structural one, and the other one is the juncture. What we need is address the issue that it's structural, which is poverty. There is a very wise phrase by President Ronald Reagan that says that the best social policy is jobs. And that is achieved through attracting investment, which will create growth, and in turn that will create employment, and by doing so reduce migration. But those are measures that are medium and long term. The messages, there have been messages that have been wrong, such as the one that was at the beginning of the administration saying that kids would be received, or that the Title 42 would be lifted, and that has created people wanting to come to the United States. What is very important is the definition of policies, and that those policies be coordinated between the countries that are part of the migration, like Mexico, Guatemala, and obviously the United States, and also the rest of the Central American countries.
So, you talk about what we have been called the root causes. President Biden put Kamala Harris in charge of that. She visited your country in 2021. We're blocks from the White House. Will you visit with her, and have you had any further communication with her about those root causes, poverty that you mentioned?
No, in this trouble. No, we are not going to meet her. I spoke with Mrs. Harris in person in Guatemala in March of 2021. One by Zoom and one by phone. The last one was the January the 7th.
But has anything changed? You mentioned some of those things that happened at the beginning of this administration, the change in Title 42. Has anything that they've done since then changed? She said at one point, don't come, and you said famously, their policies say come. Has anything changed since then?
No, la verdad es que no.
No, not many things have changed. What is needed is coordinated work and working together. For example, there was a forum in Guatemala that was organized to attract investment, but the Department of State called this organization to cancel the event.
Son los mensajes equivocados.
There are messages that are wrong. You cannot have a call to action which actually is a call for inaction.
Porque no sería correcto.
What we need is more investment that we are trying to attract, and we have investment from coming into Guatemala from India, Colombia, El Salvador, Honduras, Korea. Spain, Turkey, what we need is the companies from the United States that are based in China to come to the region. What we need is that those companies get incentives to move their operations to the region. And that what would create is more opportunities, and therefore families will not look into migrating to the United States. During this visit, we have spoken with members of Congress, and we have suggested to them to provide benefits to companies to set up their operations in our countries. Nearshoring benefits would really create opportunities in countries like Guatemala. It would create thousands of jobs by addressing the causes of migration and that therefore reduce migration.
Mr. President, I want to turn to this summit. We had a historic decision in the United States last week from our Supreme Court that really was a huge win for the pro-life movement. You spoke this morning. You've been very, very outspoken for life. Tell us about what your message to the international community was on behalf of life.
Bueno, en Guatemala yo tengo tres razones.
There are three reasons for me to be pro-life. The first one is that when I was inaugurated, I swore to defend and uphold the Constitution of Guatemala. And in that Constitution, it says that life starts at conception. Second has to do with principles and values, which I have. And third, I'm a medical doctor. The decision of the Supreme Court here in the United States is a sovereign decision. And I cannot, if I have asked other countries not to get involved in Guatemalan decisions because of our sovereignty, I cannot comment on that. But what is important is to reinforce values and principles. Let me give you the example of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, which is an entity of the Organization of American States. This organization puts us at the level of countries like Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. And one of the reasons that they indicate that we are at that level is because we signed the Geneva Consensus that protects life. The Inter-American Convention on Human Rights in its Article 4 states that life has to be respected and that life starts at conception. So it's quite awkward that the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, which is the entity that is supposed to be upholding the Inter-American Convention on Human Rights, is putting us as violators of human rights by defending life. That's why I came to the OAS. I was the first head of state that has come to the Organization of American States to complain about this. The others may be worried on the repercussions by the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights if they come here and complain. The Department of States have compared us with Guatemala, with North Korea. I'm not as chubby as the Korean leader, but they do compare us with them. Guatemala is a democracy. I was elected democratically. We have a Congress, and the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights is telling our Congress not to legislate, not to approve certain laws. Also, they are saying to us that we cannot try or bring to justice certain individuals. And such individuals are here in the United States, and they should go back and face justice in Guatemala. And it's awkward because I have approved the extradition of hundreds of individuals to the United States. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights gets into the internal politics of the country. And we are not going to tolerate that.
Mr. President, I know we're out of time. I want to thank you for sitting down with Newsmax. Muchas gracias.
No, thank you very much for the interview. I guess many eyes will be open here in the United States, and God bless America and God bless Guatemala.